Hey, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is going to be the Trading on the Nadex Platform webinar, our monthly webinar into how to trade, how to use our Nadex platform. I am Adam McCaden, and we'll jump right into it. I do apologize. It looks like we are a couple minutes late here. Actually, can't see my clock, but yeah, looks like about 2 minutes late. So apologies for that. We'll get on the road here pretty quick. This is the good old disclaimer that if you've ever been to a webinar you have seen before, probably many times. I'll put it up on the screen just for a second so everyone can read it, but very basically it says trading at Nadex, just like trading anywhere, carries risk. Don't trade with money that you aren't willing to lose. It's always best to trade with money you're willing to lose, both from a actual financial standpoint and I've always thought from a trading psychology standpoint as well. And don't be trading with your rent money, your food money, etc. Also, I will be going ahead and placing some trades on the Nadex platform here today. Those trades will just be to show functionality of the platform. They're not recommendations on what to trade. In fact, I will be choosing the trades randomly, so please do not copy those trades because I very much doubt that they will be good trades. All right, we'll move on here. One thing before we move on, if you do have any questions, I always forget to mention this in the beginning. If you have any questions, put them up in the chat. I have it over here on my second screen, so I will respond to them as they come in. Or if you want to wait till the end, we will have time for the questions at the end there. It's a nice slide here, so you can probably see my face and then the little bubble of my face. That was the pre-pandemic Adam. So I've been working at Nadex for about 4 years now. Focusing on our products and our platform for the last, actually I should say 3. I really need to update this slide. For about 3 years though, came in to go help build this new platform, run the teams that do actually do the dirty work on all the development on the platform. So have been with this platform from the ground up, and that's why I like giving these webinars, because I like to think I know all the tips and the tricks of this of our platform here. And then my background, I've been trading for about 10, actually probably closer to 12 years now. Started in the equity markets, do a little bit more equity options trading. I still do some crypto trading, fair amount of that sort of stuff. I don't trade on Nadex because I'm not allowed to, because I am an employee here, and that would be a conflict of interest. All right. So enough of this screen, the about me. Real quick agenda. I mean, I still have this slide in here, but really we go through the whole platform. We don't really go through the charts just because that was starting to take a little bit too long. I did do the charts webinar last week. If you are more interested about how all the charting functionality works, you can go over to our YouTube channel. All of our webinars are placed on our YouTube channel directly afterwards, usually same day. And so last Thursday's webinar was a charting webinar. If you didn't mix that one and you want to come to a live one, maybe ask some questions about the charts, I do those once a month, just like I do this webinar once a month. So about Thursday at noon, you ever want to come hang out with me during your lunch break on Thursday? Thursday at noon is when I do my webinars. Okay, that is enough chatting through without the platform. Let's get over to the platform here. So I already have my platform screen pulled up, and it's platform@nadex.com or platform.nadex.com. If you do, you should know probably how you get to this point, but basically you just want to go to nadex.com and you go log in, and there you go. Now you're on the platform. I'm going to sign in with my awesome webinar account, my I Like Nadex account. Password in, and there we go. We are logged into the platform. So the first thing you're going to notice when you log in, you have this nice get started bubble right in the middle of the screen. A lot of the screen real estate's taken up by that. And then on the left-hand side, you're going to have your different markets you can choose. So you'll see at the top left, you have your different product types. So your binary options, your call spreads, and your knockouts. You can click through all of these. It's going to be the first thing that you go to select is what kind of product do you want to trade. From there, you can go on down. So you can then select your market class. So you go indices, Forex, crypto. Right now, actually, there should be a little demo bubble that looks like it disappeared. So right now, we do actually have cryptocurrency on the platform. However, it is just on the demo environment currently. I do run our product team here, so I can tell you that we are trying to bring crypto to our live environment. and hopefully, knock on wood, that comes pretty soon. But for the time being, crypto is only on the demo environment. And then we have our commodities as well. And then you can also, if you're ever looking for the 5-minute or the 20-minute binaries, those are going to be there at the bottom just by duration. We put them in their own little bubble because those are more popular contracts on the exchange. The 5-minute binaries are always going to be Forex, and the 20-minute are going to be those equity indices. Excuse me. Got a little sniffles today. My allergies acting up. All right, so let's go in. Let's place a trade. Enough talking about the finder window here on the left-hand side. So let's do Forex today. You know, why not? Forex markets have been moving a bit. But I'll scroll down. Let's do pound dollar. Let's do a good cable trade today. So you can see though, as I scroll through the left-hand side, I chose Forex. I see all my Forex pairs, and I not only see the actual Forex pairs themselves, I see the duration. So you know, the daily, the weekly, the 2-hour contracts, and you can also see the actual the indicative price of those markets displayed to the right of the name of the market itself. So I think I said we're going to do the cable trade today. So that's going to be pound dollar. And let's do our 2-hour contracts. So if you aren't aware, we have daily contracts, we have weekly contracts, and then for all of our equity indices and for commodities indices and for the Forex contracts, we have those 2-hour trades that kind of rotate throughout the day. So at any point during the day, you should be able, as long as the underlying markets are liquid and trading, you should be able to see those 2-hour contracts. So we have our 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. contract. I'm going to click on this duration. It expires in 1 hour and 50 minutes because right now it is 12:10 p.m. Eastern time. It is 11:10 a.m. where I am. And then as we click into this, we see our price ladder up here. So this is going to be all your strikes on the left-hand side of this, and then the buy and the sell prices for the specific strikes that are presented. You can click either on the strikes, or you can click directly on the sell or the buy side to bring up your market. So let's do something right around at the money, right near a 50 midpoint contract. And so I'm going to click on this 13802. So pound dollar greater than 13802 expiring at 2 p.m. And when I click on this, it's going to bring up both my deal ticket on the right-hand panel, and it's going to bring up my my chart in the middle of the screen here. I'm going to take off these indicators quickly and just make this look a little bit nicer here. Okay, there we go. So you'll see it pops that chart open in the middle of the screen. I'm not going to go too in depth into the chart today. As I said at the beginning, I did the specific chart webinar last week, and you can find that on the YouTube channel if you'd like to go ahead and watch that. You'll notice because I clicked on the strike price itself, it brought up, it highlights the strike on the chart, and it brought up the deal ticket, but without a side selected. If I click on the side on the strike, you can see that it selects the actual side on the chart and on the deal ticket itself, and you can also change that on the deal ticket. So the deal ticket we have laid out fairly, I think, easily to understand. So we started out by sort of asking a question: will pound dollar finish greater than 13802 at 2 p.m.? That's the underlying question of this contract. You have your sell side, so if you think that it will this question will not be true, basically, you think it will be equal or lower to 13802 at 2 p.m., you can go ahead and enter into a sell side contract. If you think that the pound dollar will in fact finish higher at 2 p.m., you can go ahead and enter into a buy side contract. For today, we're just going to go and go ahead with that buy side. So I'll place the order here really quickly, but before I do, I just want to kind of go through this, not chronologically, but from top to bottom. So you can also see the indicative price here on all deal tickets. So it's going to be the top left of the deal ticket. It will match up with the pricing shown on the chart itself and shown on the finder window. You can also really easily see how long you have left in the contract. So yeah, we have 1 hour and 48 minutes left because it expires at 2 p.m. Eastern time. That is one thing to always remember, that no matter where you are, no matter what time zone you're in, it will be in Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time, whatever it is, on the East Coast of the US. Again, that is something that can get a little bit confusing, I know. We are, I'm based in Chicago. We're based on Central Time here, so it's not even on the time that we always use, but it is the time that we need to use sort of regulatory purposes. Won't go into it too much detail. As we go down, you can also show the market depth. So you can see the entire order book on the ticket itself. So when you click this, you can see all of the orders that are out there sitting out in the market that you can go ahead and pick up basically and trade against to enter into a position. So we see, you know, at the top we have 48.25, and they'll move around because generally these are going to be, a lot of these are going to be the market makers that exist on the platform to provide that liquidity. But you can see them sort of moving around and everything on the exchange. You can also place your own order onto the the deal ticket, and I'll show you how to do that in a second to make it show up in that order book. We have our order type. So on Nadex, there are two order types you can choose. You have your limit GTC, that's going to be the limit good till close or good till cancel. And excuse me, sorry about that. And you have your market order. Your market order is just going to be what you use to get into the contract at the best available price that you see on the market at the time. So give you the market price. The limit order is going to be you can set your own price if you want to place a working order, and that will go through when the order actually, you know, if the order hits that price. I'll show you that in practice here in just 1 second. So and then you have your size button, so you can change this to 10 contracts. You can do 1 contract. We're just going to do 1 for this initial initial trade. You then have your max loss and your max profit. You will notice that, actually, I'll go to limit to show this. Your max loss is always going to equal the maximum value that you're placing to get in the trade, right? So if I say 61.25, my max loss is going to be 61.25. My max profit is going to be 100 minus my max loss, right? Basically, why that is you can never lose more than you pay to get into a contract on Nadex. So if I pay $60 to get into a trade, that's what I pay to get into my position. I can only lose that $60 I pay to get in. I can't lose any more. There's no margin, so there's no margin calls, no extra leverage there. And my max profit is always going to be, you know, if it were to expire in my favor, I would get the $100 payout for the binary option, 100 minus that initial 60. We can do 60, so it's nice round numbers. 100 minus that initial 60 is going to be that $40 max profit, of course, not including fees. You also have your max ROI and your probability in the money. So your max ROI is just going to be your return on investment. So it's basically saying, if I pay this $60 to get into this contract, what is the maximum return I could get on this investment? The actual calculation is basically, and if you want to look into it more, you can hover over this or click on this little information bubble. But very basically, it's going to be, if I get into the contract at this price point, and then I get the full payout. So if I basically profit $40 on this, taking into account fees. Actually, sorry, it does not take it. Oh yes, it does take into account fees. Almost forgot about that part. So taking into account fees, what would be my maximum return on investment when I enter into this trade? And then the probability in the money is going to be that midpoint here. So this is another very interesting thing about binary options, a very good thing to know about them. Because binaries are priced out of $100, the midpoint of the buy and the sell price can sort of be thought as the probability that the market thinks this trade will expire in your favor. So you can see that the midpoint between, let's say, you know, let's get maybe a little bit easier numbers to deal with here. Let's say 58 on the sell side and 62 on the buy side. The midpoint, the middle of that is going to be $60. That is sort of telling you that the probability that the buy side will expire in your favor on that trade is going to be a 60% probability. At least that is the probability that the market is pricing into the trade. So it's a good way to think about this, right? And that's also how you can think about how much binary options cost. If you are buying a binary for $80, yeah, you're buying it for $80. You might only have a $20 possible profit, but because it's a higher probability that that expires in your favor, that is why it costs more. Your profit, profit margins or your return could possibly be less, but there's a higher probability you get that return. we have a question here. Why am I hearing two people talking at the same time? I can't understand a word being said. If anyone else is having that issue, let me know in the chat and I will try to fix it. Maybe you have two windows up. I'm sorry if that's an issue that everyone's having. Yeah, if you're having an issue where multiple things are playing in the background, let me know, because that's shouldn't be happening. Another question we have coming in here is the full payout based on riding the contract out to completion. Yes. So that's a very good question, and it is an important thing to remember. Okay, we're seeing everything's good audio wise. So the person that asked that question, maybe you have two tabs open. Sorry, I'm unsure. But sorry, back to the other question. Is the full payout based on riding the contract out to completion? Yes. And actually, we'll get into a contract here, and I'll show you something else as well. So we'll pay this at $61.50 because that is a good question. So the full payout so the max ROI is going to be based on riding that out, right? So the max ROI is saying the maximum you could get for this contract is going to be a $100 payout. The only way you get a $100 payout is if you keep that contract until it expires, and then it expires in your favor and you get the entire $100 back. There are examples where maybe you've gotten into this contract at $60 and then the market has moved extremely high up, because generally if you're in a buy side, the market's moving up, your contract's going to be worth more, and you could sell it out for like $99.50, but almost you're never actually going to be able to sell out of your contract for $100. So that maximum $100 payout is only going to be possible if you do hold it all the way till expiration. The other thing to note about this, and I'll go into this. I usually go into this a little bit later, but because you asked that question, it's a good segue into this. So you always see your P&L down here on your open position. So your P&L is also is not calculated off holding it to expiration. Your P&L is calculated off how much will I get if I sell out of this contract, or if I exit this contract at the point that the market is pricing currently, right? And so this is a very important distinction to make, and you can sort of see it in the contract we entered into here, right? So I got into a buy side contract. We'll go through the positions here. So basically, this position thing says I'm +1, so I got into a buy side contract. Okay, glad I got it fixed. I got into a buy side contract. The average price I paid was $61.50. Right now, I can sell out of that. I can sell out of my position. I can exit my position at the current market sell price, because I bought in on the buy side. If I'm going to exit the contract, I need to get out on the sell side. Same thing if I get in on the sell side, when I'll exit the contract is the buy side price. So the current market price I can get out is $49.75. $61.50 minus the $50. That's going to give you your profit and loss. That's the $11.50, right? So that is, if I sell out of this contract right now, that is my P&L. However, if I were to hold this to expiration, so let's say that this contract, instead of expiring in an hour and 38 minutes, let's say that it's expiring in 30 seconds, right? It's just about to go expire, and my strike price is 138.02, and I'm on the buy side. Well, right now the indicative says 138.025, so that's higher than my strike price. If this were to expire right now, right at this point, at that indicative price, and that was a settlement price, I would still get the whole $100 payout, because the question is, will it expire above this line? So even though the P&L is showing a negative P&L, that is only if I sell out. If I hold it to expiration here, I will still get the $100 payout, and my profit would be 100 minus 61.50, so $38.50 minus the fees you pay to get in and get out, right? So that is a very important distinction. It is something that I think does get confusing sometimes. It's just always good to remember, at expiration, all that matters is the market higher or lower than the actual strike price, right? If I'm on the buy side, is the market higher than the strike price? That's all that matters at expiration. Up until expiration, your profit and loss is going to be based on where you got into the market versus where you can get out of the market now. So that is And if I didn't say that clearly, let me know. But I do always try to clear that point up because it is a very important concept, I think, in trading these options, and especially in making sure that making the best decisions for when to enter and exit your contract, right? Because maybe if it's up high, because again, the profit and loss could also be showing a positive P&L, but if it expires, that you're gonna it's the payout's gonna be negative, right? So let's say I got into a buy side down here. Let's say maybe I paid like $10. The market's moved up, but I'm still on this strike price. If I got into this strike like down here on the chart and it moves all the way up here, well, I'm probably going to be positive in my P&L, but it would still be below this strike price. So if I was on the buy side and it expires here, well, that's still going to be that's still going to be a $0 payout. I would still take a loss on that contract, even though the P&L would be showing positive because the market would have moved up. So again, I do like to spend a good amount of time on that, just because I think it is a little bit more confusing, or a little bit maybe not as clear when you first start trading these. So that was a little bit of a tangent, but I do usually go over that in this webinar. So we'll go over the whole positions panel here really quickly. I know I did just go over sort of the right side of it. So quickly going over the rest of it, we have our type. It's going to say binary options. If it's call spreads, if it's knockouts, it will say call spreads and knockouts. The contract, that's going to be the name of the contract. So you're going to see pound dollar greater than 13802. The strike price will be contained in the name of the contract, or the floor and ceiling range if we're talking about call spreads or we're talking about knockouts. You'll be able to see your probability in the money. That's going to move at that midpoint throughout the contract's lifetime. Indicative value, same thing here, same thing here. We show it to you a lot because it is very important to know what the indicative, especially compared to your strike price. The expiration and the time left, fairly self-explanatory, when it expires and how much time is left. And again, we have the average price, current, and profit and loss. The average price, I mean, this should be fairly self-explanatory, but just remember, it is the average of all the positions. So if I got into one strike at 62, the other strike at 60, my average price is going to be 61, and it would say I have 2 positions on. We also have our set profit target here. Yes, there's a question, will there be a recording of these sessions to review it again? Yes, there will be. All of our webinars go up on our YouTube channel, and I will show you what that YouTube channel is at the end. But basically, if you search Nadex on YouTube, you should be able to find it. They're usually up within an hour or two, depending on how fast we can get these rendered and get them put on our channel. So here we actually have a fairly new feature. This is only on demo right now, but it should be into our live environment very soon. I was actually just talking this morning about when we can launch it. So in the next week or two, we're still just making sure everything's working correctly with it. But so if you click this set profit target, it's going to bring up a different sort of deal ticket here. Now, this deal ticket, you can sort of see it's changed to the sell side of this contract. So it's basically what this is doing is it's allowing me to set a profit target that if it actually hits my profit target, it will exit the position for me. This is something you've actually always been able to do on Nadex. However, the way you have always been able to do it, and you still can do it, I think is a little bit convoluted. This is just making it a little bit clear that you can do this, right? So we have our size here, we have our closing price. So I paid $61.50 to get into this. I obviously wouldn't be profitable if I got out at any less than this. So I can go ahead and let's say I paid $61.50 to get in. Maybe I want to have a profit of $10 on this. So I want to do $71.50. It'll tell me my profit target is now set to $10, right? So I can place this in. Now this doesn't mean it's going to exit me at this position right away, right? Because there's no one, I can't just decide that I can get out of this contract at any price right now. What it will do though is it places a working order for my contract at a certain price, so that if this contract goes up and it hits $71.50, if this sell side ever hits $71.50, it's going to exit that contract for me. You can see it's sitting over here in my working orders tab. So now we have, it's a lot of the same stuff here on the working orders tab, binary options, contract name, etc. If we go down here, the really only difference is the filled bubble. So we have our -1, our sell position that's out there in the market. We also have our filled panel here. That's just basically saying that this position's sitting out there, but it has not been filled yet. We see our price that we want to get out at, so we have 71.50, and the current market price is 54.25. I just changed. But so if this current market price goes up and it does hit that 71.50, this working order will automatically trigger. We'll get out at this price, and it will be our profit target that we set of $10. Of course, not including fees. So that is how you can use this new functionality. Again, it is not in the live environment yet. It is in the demo environment only. We're still making sure it works 100%. We've been doing a lot of testing on it, but again, it should be live just in a couple weeks. So I did just get a question of how did that feature come up? Yeah, so it is only in the demo right now, but it will be live very soon. We've been doing a lot of testing to make sure that nothing will go wrong with this feature. We always like to do that, especially when it's something that places an order. So one other thing that you can see this, and I said earlier, that when you place a limit order, and I'll show this actually on another position as well, but when you place a limit order, because basically what we just did was we placed a limit order on the same contract to exit our position, you can actually see your order sitting out on the order, so that you can see that it's out there. If anyone hits it, if anyone trades against it, it'll exit that position for you. So if I go down here and I see my show market depth, well, I can actually see my order right here. That's my 71.50 order. It's sitting right here. So it's basically saying if all of these 63.25 get bought out, or the market moves up to this point, that it will hit my 71.50. It's out there. It's sitting on the order book. It's available to be traded against. So yeah, just another cool little thing, and that you can actually see your own trade sitting out there. I will show you can also just place a limit order and see that as well. So that was what we just did, was setting a profit target, and that profit target is basically saying, get me out at this certain point for a contract I already own. You can also do a very similar thing with a limit order of saying, well, let's say I don't want to pay $20 for this. I don't think this contract is worth $20. If the market ever goes down, maybe I think the market's going to go down and then go back up, I can say, okay, maybe I think this is worth $10. I can place that order. And similarly, it's not going to get me into that contract right away. It's going to place another working order. And we can see down here, the one I just placed was this one at $10. And I can also see, if I go into the market depth, my $10 contract is sitting right there. So a couple ways you can use the limit orders on the contracts to place a working order. You could also see them displayed on the chart itself. So this is my position I'm currently in. And also these little gray bars are the working orders for those respective positions. The last thing on this bar down here, and this is in the live environment, is this close button. So this close button is another fairly new feature that we've put into the platform. And again, this is something that you've always been able to do. Both of these are things you've always been able to do. However, we've sort of reskinned them, I guess, as a new feature, just to make it a little bit easier for people to use this functionality. So if you hit this close button, this is actually going to allow you to close out of your position at the current market price. So you've always been able to do this, right? So if I bring up my contract, if I just place a sell order on a contract I already have a buy order on, it's already going to exit my contract. But now we've sort of set it up so you can just hit this close button, and you can see, okay, the average price I paid to get in was $61.50. The current market price is $50. My current P&L was going to be about $11.25. If I hit this close position button, it's going to get me out at that current profit and loss. So I can hit it. There we go. It placed the order on the other side. Now I'm no longer in that position, and I've exited out. I did take a loss on it, but that's how you can go ahead and get out. We always hope we take profits on all our positions, but sometimes, it's better to it is better to cut the losses rather than take the entire the entire amount you paid to get in as a loss and leave it at $0 payout. So that is really everything with our deal ticket. Well, I say that, and now I'm actually remembering one other thing I need to bring up with it. So let's do a different market here. We'll do the dollar CAD real quick. That's the USD Canadian dollar. So I'm going to place let's just place a market order to get into this contract. I'm into this contract again. One other very useful feature that I actually use all the time when I'm trading on my demo account is tearing off the tickets. So this is how I basically set up my screen with a lot of different tickets or a lot of price ladders, a lot of different charts. So what I'm going to do here, if you click this little tear off ticket button, hit this, and it's going to, in another little window, tear off the ticket, basically. So it's going to bring up another window with the new deal ticket. And you can trade from here. You can do everything from here. So if I go, let's do just a market order so we can get right in. I can place an order. You can see it still is reflected in my position. Now I'm in two positions. You can do everything that you could normally do with this contract. A little tip or trick here. So what I do a lot, so you can also go back to the price ladder. So if you at the top left of this, and now I have this little window that I can drag around and I can put in different places. You can also see the chart from here. So I did it with this little button at the bottom left. You can see the chart. You can hide the ticket, right? So there's a lot of functionalities you can do. And hide the tickets right down here. I know sometimes I go a little fast on this. There's a lot of different functionality you can do on this. What I like to do when I'm trading, and I'm going to do this kind of quickly, I'm going to set it up. I have a second screen over here on my left side. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to sort of tear these off very quickly and show you what I'm doing here. So bear with me 1 second. But let's say that I like to trade a bunch of different forex markets, right? I like to trade euro dollar, dollar franc, dollar CAD, and what's another one? We'll just click the Aussie dollar. So again, bear with me 1 second. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how I have these set up. So I've actually just popped off these four, and I know I did that really quickly. But what I like to do is try to drag it over. Alrighty, that's sorry. Usually this is a little bit more smooth. It's just because I'm trying to drag it over from my second screen here. So what I will do is when I'm trading a bunch of different markets, I'll sort of set them up like this. And I can even go back. This is my setup. You can do a lot of different things with these, but I like to go click on the price ladder on each of these. And now I can go ahead and say, okay, I like trading the euro dollar. I like trading the dollar Swiss franc. I like trading the Aussie dollar and the dollar CAD. Now I can actually look at all of my different forward contracts I like trading or different markets I like trading. I can go into different expiration times. I could go and I can just pull my price ladders for all of these. So maybe there's a massive movement, or even if I can have my charts up too, like I can have 4 different charts up on my screen. And let's say I like trading like this, because let's say there's a massive movement, I can sort of see it going on the price ladder. And rather than having to like click around on the individual platform, it's like on the platform face itself where you can really only see one market, I can really quickly get into different positions here and monitor a lot of different markets. So how did you get to that feature? I will show again really quickly because I know I was doing that very quickly here. So I basically, so this is the screen. On the top right of the deal ticket, it's the tear off ticket button. That's going to give you this new ticket that you can tear off. Now what I just did was I basically did all these tickets and I dragged them over to my second screen. If you're on one screen, it might be a little bit harder to set up, but I do use two. But basically, you can still do it like this. It will, if you click back on this, it kind of will hide this behind the platform. We've tried to fix this in a lot of different ways. But basically, you can tear the ticket off and then you can sort of line them up on your screen. So what I've done here to get this to happen is I've torn off a lot of different tickets for a lot of different markets. And then I just go back, I line them up on my screen how I like them, and I can interact with all of them from the same windows here. So again, this feature, it's right here. It's a tear off ticket that's going to be at the top right of the deal ticket itself. All right, so that's a little tip, little trick I like showing there. I do want to make sure we're moving on quickly here because I do want to make sure we get to everything in this webinar because it's been about 35 minutes. But I do like to spend a lot of time on the deal ticket because it's probably what people use the most of everything on the platform itself. I'm going to close out of my little tickets really quick just so I can show you everything. So last thing on the deal tickets on the side panels, you can hide these tickets and hide these panels. I'll show you again how to do that. So these little up and down arrows are going to let you drop these down and bring them back up. To get the ticket back up, you're going to want to you just click on anything in the price ladder. To hide it again, you hit this little hide double arrow. So like if you just like your entire chart on your screen, you can have it like this, and you can bring everything back up like so. So these little double arrows will help you hide things if you want to hide different parts of your platform. All right, so we went through the Finder section on the left hand, we went through the deal tips on the right hand, and we went through that bottom panel. The one other thing on the bottom panel is this 24-hour order history. You can use this. It is a very good tool to very quickly look at your order history. However, I like to use generally the more in-depth history, and I'll show you how to get there in just one second. So we'll go over like the top bar here very, very quickly. So the top bar, going from left to right, you have your open live account. This will show up on your demo account. Clicking this will basically take you to our application page. If you do want to go ahead and open up a live account and you haven't actually done that yet, you can do that just from inside your demo. We have our platform status. This is, 99.9% of the time is just going to say operational. I have to give a shout out to our app support team and our operations team. They are very good at keeping this platform up and running. And so almost never do we have any incidents where this platform status will not show operational. If you click on it, you can see different, go in depth with trading platform, account creation, etc. If you really want to go dive deeper into that. We have our exchange time. Exchange time, again, is always going to be Eastern time. We have it up here just to remind everyone that look, these do expire in Eastern time. They are quoted in Eastern time. So, when you see something that expires at 2 p.m., that's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern. We have our available balance and our total P&L. And so when you actually click on this bar at the top, you'll get a little drop down where you can select all the different balances you want to show. So right now I'm just showing my available and my total P&L. I can also, add my position value onto here. My position value is going to be the value of all current positions that I own. So I own 2 contracts. They're trading at about $71. That's going to equal $142. If you are ever confused about what any of these mean, what any of these balances mean, you can click on this little information bubble and it's going to show you, okay, your reserve means your funds reserved for your working orders, your fees, etc. And you can also hide the balances as well. Maybe you trade, on the train when you're going to work or some other public place, or you're trading on a public computer. You don't want people to see how much money you have in your account. You can hide your balances and then just access them from this drop-down menu. Moving on here, at the top right, we have the demo bubble. You can't really click on that. It just shows you that you're on demo. If you're on live, it'll be a blue bubble like this blue color, and it will say live. So just make sure you know which platform you're on before you're trading. Then you have your account section up here. If you click on this account section, this is going to be where you have a lot of your different account features where you can go in and it's a my account section. Pretty much all online platforms have some sort of my account section these days. This first default screen you're going to get onto here is going to be your sort of a breakdown of how much funds you have out. Because I'm on the demo account and I have $10,000 in funds and I don't have any positions on, my whole bubble here is basically this blue available to trade. But if you're on your live account and maybe you have $250 and 150 of them are tied up in trades, it's a little bit more useful to get a visual representation of what's going on in your account, of the breakdown of your account, and you can see that all here. One other feature on this account or on this screen is if you are on the demo and you've traded down all your $10,000 in funds, you've been trading a ton, and you're now down to $0 or anything under $10,000, that starting default balance, you can go ahead and replenish that balance. So you click on the replenish balance button. It's going to tell you it will bring your balance back up to $10,000 from wherever it is. You can confirm or cancel. One thing to note, you can only reset this every 24 hours. Really, you probably shouldn't be going through $10,000 in demo funds in every 24 hours. I know a lot of people do like to do very large positions, but sometimes it is better to just trade with more realistic positions. Unless you're trading $10,000 on the account, then maybe that is realistic for you. Anyway, if you press confirm, I'm actually going to get a little bubble here because I already have over $10,000. it's going to tell me that I can't actually do that. If you had less, that's how you replenish it. Moving on down, we have our personal details. Obviously, this is a demo account, so it says I live in Tradertown, Alaska, which is obviously not a place. If this is your live account, make sure to keep this up to date, just because we do sometimes have to send like tax documents out to a physical location. It is something that we have to do for regulatory purposes. So live account, keep your residential address up to date. You can edit that by going to this little edit button, and you can say I live in Tradertown, awesome. You know, I didn't even type that right, but so you can edit that. Make sure to keep that updated. Again, same thing with contact details. My contact details obviously aren't correct in this demo account because this is one of many test demo accounts I have. On your demo or on your live account, you probably should keep this up to date just so we can get in contact with you. We could send you emails on anything going on in your account that you need to know. So it is important to keep that up to date. On the demo, there is on the live account below this section, you would have your wallet. Now on the demo, that's not here because these are all fake funds. But on the live account, right below this residential details section would be where you would see your wallet. So it would be where you deposit funds, where you withdraw those funds, everything like that, where you add new bank accounts, add cards, take off cards, everything like that. Moving on down here, we have our reporting. So this is our history section. This is going to be the best way to see what's been going on in your account. Go through this really quickly. So you can either choose your transaction history or your order history. Your order history is just going to show all your orders. So generally, when you do a transaction, there's going to be two orders. It's basically going to be the order or two lines. The line where you send that order off to the exchange, and the line where the exchange sends something back saying basically order filled, right? So you can go ahead and view history, and I could show you. So we could see order sent, order filled, order filled, order sent, order filled, right? There's a reason to use that. I use transaction history a lot of the time because what transaction history will show is just the actual transactions, the actual me getting in or getting out of those trades. And so we can go view history and then transaction. You can also choose your trading history or your fund history. Obviously on demo, there's not going to be anything for fund history, but on the live account, you can see, all the history of you taking in or withdrawing funds. Moving down here, so we have our actual transaction history. You can see, I bought to get in, the fees I paid, bought to get in, the fees I paid, selling to close. So this is going to be where you actually can see all of your activity in the account. Now, one thing, and I'll admit, we don't do this very well. We are still working on getting this better. It is probably the biggest thing that we are trying to improve at this point is actually displaying your overall lifetime P&L. You can see it, you can kind of do a calculation from this screen, but I'll be the first to admit it's not great, it's not the best way to do it, and we are trying to improve it. Right now, probably the best way to see this is going to be to go down to this section down here and download your transaction history. So let's say I want to see what my P&L on this account has been for the last 30 days, what my kind of lifetime P&L has been. I can go download that. Usually that's going to pop up my little, here, I'll go, sorry. My Google Chrome has been having trouble actually getting my downloads. So usually you won't actually have to do this. So apologies about this. Generally, when you hit the download, it will bring up that little like Google Chrome spinning thing on the bottom left, and you'll actually be able to just open up your download. But it should come up like this. And so now I can see this is just the transaction history that I was shown in platform, but it is, for the last 30 days, and I can see it in an Excel format. Little pro tip, little Excel thing. If you do the command equals, see I'm typing it down here, sum, I can click on this, and then I can select all of my my column here, and I press enter. So equals sum enter. I can see my entire lifetime value from the last 30 days of these trades that I've placed, that I've gotten in, gotten out. It's been $224.50. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's positive on this demo account, but it will show you if it's positive, negative. This does include all your fees too. So you can see over here you have your buy fee, sell to close. You have your settlement payouts. So you can see here, if you just sum this all up, you will get your P&L over this period of time. Again, I do realize that this is not the best way to do this. We are working on giving you a better sort of user experience inside the platform, but until we can get that going, because it is actually harder than you would think to build something like that, this is kind of the best way to go ahead and see your lifetime P&L. And again, if you can do this equal sum function, and it's going to sum up your P&L there. We're going to close out of that. We go down to our statement here. The statement, it's going to take a second to load up, but basically what it is, it's just a PDF that you can download of your last 30 days of trading. It's going to be the same thing as the transaction history, but just in a sort of PDF format. On my screen, it's kind of bad, but you can hit this download in the top right, and it's going to download this in sort of a nice format that you can download, save as a PDF, has your account name and your username and everything like that. Moving on down this account section, we have the contact us bubble. This is how you can get in contact with us. You can email us, customerservice@nadex.com. We have a very good customer service team. That's probably going to be one of the better ways to get in contact with us, either that or live chat. And I'll show you how to get to live chat in 1 second. Live chat might be a little faster, but maybe if you have a little bit more complex question that takes a lot more to write, you can email it into customerservice@nadex.com. You can also write us via old-fashioned snail mail through the good old US Post. You can do this if you want, but I would highly recommend just emailing us. It's 2021. The postal service is a little bit slower these days. Email is still just as fast, it'll take you like 6 weeks to get something into us physically. Where send us an email, basically is what I'm saying. So moving back down to feedback here. So this feedback section, we actually put in here twice because we really want to hear your feedback. Everything that comes into this feedback section, I see every single day. I have a report that generates, that gets sent to my email, that gets sent to some of our other project and management, some of our other leadership of the company. It goes to all of our developers that work on this, and this is how I start my day every morning. I get my coffee, I read all the feedback that people send through here. So if you do have a feature you want, if you have something you don't understand, if you have something that is giving you trouble, you see a bug, anything, put it in this feedback section. We do read it. If you love the platform, if you hate the platform, let us know. Both of those are equally good things for us to know. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you hate something we're doing. It just means we need to fix it and need to do it better. So definitely throw it in here in this feedback section. I can't say enough because we do read this. It's not just going into some black suggestion box that no one ever looks into. So yeah, leave us your feedback. I won't sit here and say that we're going to put every single feature that everyone puts on here into the platform, but if we see a ton of people suggesting the same feature, like the tariff tickets or the tariff tickets, the quick charts we put in, even the set profit target was we put it into the platform because we had so many people requesting this sort of thing. So I know I've belabored this point, but please leave us feedback. We have our refer a friend bubble here. So this is our refer a friend program. You can't really access it from the demo account. You need to have a live account. You do have some great bonuses. I'm not going to go fully into it, but if you would like to refer your friend, get some bonus funds that you can trade within your account. You can see here you can earn up to 100 for every successful live account referral. You do need to have a live account. In the live account, you'll have a little code that you can give your friends, and we'll give you some money to trade with. So again, make sure you hit the learn more because there are some terms and conditions with it. I'm not going to go into all of them right here, but it is a little program that we have. And if you need to log out, you can hit this log out button. It'll log you out of the platform. So that is everything in the My Account section. So we've done the top, we've done the left hand, right hand. It also looks like I'm making a little bit of money now in my dollar CAD position. That's always good to see. I'm going to go over the left-hand panel now. This is going to be really the last section that we have to go over here. So first of all, the top left, this is going to be the markets panel. This left-hand panel is sort of set up with these little icons so you can bring different sections up. This market panel is going to be the default one when you actually get into the platform. It's been the one we're using this whole time. If you click on it, you can see it drop down and come back. We have our update section. So going down here, we can see I have one little bubble here. So the update section, this is where going to be where we put messages like, look, we have a new refer a friend program. Come in, you can refer a friend. Look, we have a new feature. So any new features, any refer friends, we're going to put them in this update section. New products that we launch. Also, we put things here like the symbol rollover schedule, or we have Thanksgiving coming up. This is the next like major market holiday in about a month. We'll put our holiday schedule here as well. So going into Thanksgiving, you can see, or going into any major holiday, you can see the days we're open, what times we're open, what markets are open. So make sure to check out the update section here. If you have one you haven't read, it'll have this nice little bubble that's flashing. When you click on it, that little bubble will go away. That's how you get that to go away if you don't like it. We also have our little how-to here. So this, I won't go super in depth into this, but basically what this is this will actually walk you through how to do some basic functions on the platform. We are working on building some of this out. So let's say I want to learn how to place a binary trade. This is actually going to, walk me through step by step on how to trade a binary, right? So, it's I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but definitely check that out because it's sort of, you can see it overlays instructions to try to teach, newer people how to trade binaries, how to manage your positions. And again, we are working on adding more courses to that, just to make sure that everyone understands how that's used. Moving on down here, we do have a mobile app. However, the mobile app is not in the store. It's a very long story about that entire thing, but the very basis of it is if you do want to use our mobile app, you can go in here, take out your phone, scan the QR code. It's going to bring this up, and now I have this in Safari. I can go ahead and log in. Basically, after you log in, I'll ask that you to add that to your home screen, and then you can use it like any other app. I know it's not as easy as doing it from the App Store. There are reasons that we don't, that we're getting down to the wire here, so I don't have time to go into right now. But if you do want to learn more about why we do it like that and how to use the Nadex mobile app, you can click this Learn More. It will bring up a blog post. Moving on down, we have this context us section here. This is going to be how you pop open. So you can pop open here, and then you can go to, you can either email us, or if you go to the bottom right, you can use our live chat. So this is chat with an expert. You'll put your first, last name, email, etc., and you can start chatting a little bit faster, get an answer a little bit quicker on anything that's going on, any questions you have. Feedback, again, I know I belabored this before, but with features so nice, we put it in twice. Just leave us feedback. And bottom left-hand side here, we have our settings. So this is where we're going to find a number of different settings that you can go ahead and change up. Top setting is going to be your tolerance level. I haven't really gone into this too much. I'll go into it very quickly here. I know we are getting almost to the end of this hour. The tolerance setting, so you can change your tolerance up and down. Very basically what this is when you do a market order on the exchange, the market order is a market order with protection level. The tolerance is going to be where you can set that protection level. So if I have a protection level of, let's say I have it at $5, I think the default is $10. So when you open up an account, basically what it does is that it helps protect you from very large market swings in like millisecond time frame. So let's say you're trading a 5-minute binary. It's at $60. You want to get into that contract at $60. You don't want to pay $80 for it, right? Well, because the 5-minute binaries move so fast, for those of you that do trade them, you will definitely have to experience this. Sometimes you might say, get me in at 60, and in the time that your order can kind of go from our platform to the back end says, okay, and go back, that takes like a millisecond, but sometimes that'll go from like 60 to 80. What the tolerance level will do is it says, okay, I will allow you to enter into this 60 plus $10 basically, or plus whatever you have set to it. So if it hits 65 when it's going back and forth, it will get you in at that market level. But let's say it goes from 60 to 71 in before it actually gets back to you, it actually will get you into that contract. It will cancel the order and you can place another one. Basically just helping you in very fast market moving conditions. And if you want to set it to like $1, so you always get in right at the point you want, but you might have more canceled orders, you can do that. If you want to set it all the way up to $25, just know that you are taking that protection away all the way up to $25. It's a very basic. You can learn more on our site. We do have some articles about how that protection level works. Basically, it's to try to help and protect you in very fast, volatile markets. Default order type, you can change market or limit. You may have seen when I was bringing up my tickets today that it all defaulted to limit, but now if I go back, it defaults to market, and now defaults to limit again. So I like limit. You can choose market if you like market. That's really up to you. Default contract size, I like to keep this at 1, but let's say you always trade 10 lots, you can do 10 lots. Again, I keep it at 1 just to make sure that I'm not placing, like accidentally placing 10 lots on contracts. Session inactivity, this is how long if you don't interact with the platform that it will automatically log you out. I keep mine at 12 hours because I have mine on my home computer. I sit here all day, have it in the background. If you, let's say, trade at a public library or just any public place on a public machine, set it to 1 hour so no one can access your account. And then moving on down here, this is where you set your light theme and your dark theme. For any of you that might have seen this dark theme and thought the entire time, how do I get that? Well, you get it here. So you can go back to your light theme, which I'm really a dark theme person. This is like sort of burning my eyes right now. But maybe you like light theme, you can do that. System is going to be, it sort of detects what your, I think it detects whatever your Chrome or your Firefox, whatever your browser has as its default, and it tries to copy that default over. But again, I just use the dark theme, so that's why mine looks like this. All right, I know we are pushing near 12 o'clock here, or it's 12 o'clock my time, 1 o'clock Eastern. We have gone almost an hour. That is really everything I have. I'm trying to make sure that I really did touch on everything, and I think I did touch on everything in the platform. I will go back very quickly to this to the end of to this end screen here. If you do have any questions, any final questions, I know I've answered most of them as we've gone through this. Throw any final questions in the chat. I do like to end this on the end screen just to make sure, you know, if you do need help on customer service, contact us, customer service at nadex.com. You know, I love the customer service team. They're all very knowledgeable. If you are enjoying trading here, if you do want to go to Trustpilot and leave us a review, it does help us a lot. Our social media person always asks me to say this, but it really does help us. So it's not like I'm definitely pushing it on you. So you know, if you are like trading, go help us out. Trustpilot review, and here are all of our socials: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all the big ones, all the good ones. We're on all of them. Go follow us there. I do recommend Twitter. Sometimes we get like notifications out a little bit faster on Twitter, or you know, if you're not on your platform, you can see them faster there. And on the YouTube channel, this is where it will be posted at the you know, in a couple hours probably. This webinar will be posted. So if you want to go back, you want to look up anything I just said on this webinar, go for it. You want to send it to anyone, go for it. It will be on YouTube. If you are interested about the Nadex charting, because I know I really didn't go over the actual middle section with the chart functionality. I did a webinar last Thursday on just the charts, so go check that out if you want that. And if you want to participate in the live one, I do this webinar. I do the charts webinar about once a month. So in November, I will do a charts webinar as well. Just look out for that on our website. All right, I know we are again pushing, we're about at the 1 hour mark here. I think, yep, right over the 1 hour mark. So if you do have any other questions, throw them in the chat. I'll give like another just 1 or 2 minutes for any other questions. But if you don't, that's really going to be the end of the webinar here. Thank you all for coming and hanging out and listening to me talk for the last hour. I know it can be a lot, can go for a while, a lot of the time, but you know, you guys asked some really good questions today. So always happy to interact with everyone here and answer any questions and help teach about the platform. I am not seeing any more questions come in here today, so I will let you go. If you do have any final questions, shoot them over to customer service at Nadex. I can definitely help you. And other than that, I hope everyone has a great day of trading, and I will see you next week with another webinar.